We're taking the plunge. We're diving into the world of podcasting, and we're super excited about it. People are asking me, Chad, why get into podcasting now? There's so many different podcasts out there. The market's saturated. We're late to the game. But I say I'm always in the business of providing really, really good content that our listeners can lean on, learn from, grow, and provide future wisdoms that set them up for the highest probability of success. Our podcast, surprise, surprise, is all about culture. It's called the Culture Advantage. And we truly believe that if you have a really good culture or you work on a really good culture, it can improve the performance of your people and it can drive even better results. Culture trumps strategy every single day. Somebody very famous said that. I think it was Edward Deming, I believe. We can look that up as we go. Some of the goals for the podcast. Number one is we're going to have some really, really good guests on. We're going to have guests that have a journey of building a strong culture and proven results with that culture and understanding that people impact culture. Culture is just a multitude of habits. It's a multitude of getting people to truly work together that drive even better results. Another goal is to provide you everyday wisdoms and everyday thoughts and everyday learnings that can really help with your journey. Leadership is hard. Working with other people today is hard. There's so much noise out there inside of organizations, just inside of the world and life and everything that happens today, that our goal is to provide you nuggets of wisdom and nuggets of information that can really, again, set you up for success, whatever journey you're on and however your leadership path goes or whatever it takes you. But let me dive into culture a little bit and talk about this culture advantage. It's a subject that I'm obviously very familiar with. For the past 2.5 decades, I've been studying culture, been studying people. And really it comes down to these core elements when you think about culture. Number one, a profound belief that culture can really impact results. And when you double click on that, culture is really people. People really drive results. So how do we focus on improving the performance of people that will impact and create even better outcomes, whatever outcomes you're looking to impact? People are always the X factor. You've heard us say this over and over and over, but we're going to continue to beat this drum because I have an insane belief that people do drive ultimately results. And when it comes to people, it comes down to really a couple things. One, strong working relationships. The stronger the working relationships, the easier it is. Nothing's easy in the world today, but the easier it is to truly work together to get even better results. When we walk into companies every single day, we find that people are working together, but they're not truly working together. And so how do you work on creating even stronger working relationships with your people? That comes down to building trust. That comes down to building more respect. That comes down to building more rapport. Doesn't mean we have to be friends. Doesn't mean we can't be friends. It just means we need strong working relationships. The more trust, respect, and rapport that we have, the higher likelihood that we're going to work better together to get those results. The next one when it comes to people is engagement. How are we driving opportunity mindset, not obligation mindset? Opportunity mindset creates an even better culture that drives even better results. When I say opportunity mindset, I mean people walking in the door every single day doing things that they believe they get to do, not obligation mindset that they have to do, right? We've talked about this, but there's a difference between energy and stuff. Energy for people creates opportunity mindset. They're good at those things, they enjoy doing those things, and it moves the business or it moves their results in a positive direction. And then there's stuff. Stuff is anything that drains energy. Stuff is anything that somebody else could be or should be doing. Stuff is even negative relationships that seem to be going nowhere. There seems to be a ton of those inside of organizations today where people can't interact and can't really work together. So what are you doing with inside your culture to drive engagement, to drive opportunity mindset, not obligation mindset? Next is fulfillment. When it comes to people, how are you creating authentic and sincere fulfillment, which means helping people understand by what they do and the impact that it has true purpose and meaning that moves the organization forward. When people understand how they fit into the bigger picture, it creates value, it creates purpose, and creates more proficiency. So really the first thing when it comes to culture is believing that people ultimately drive even better results. Here's another component that's highly valuable when it comes to culture is what we call CAP. Clarity, alignment, and purpose. How are we creating clarity, alignment, and purpose really around two things? One is, what are the goals? What's the vision? You've heard me say this before, but I always ask companies and I always ask leaders, where is the bus going? Are you clear? Are your people clear? Do they truly understand? Are they clear on what the destination is, what the direction is? And then the other half of that is, are they clear on what's expected of them? When people are clear on the goals and expectations, efficiency happens, effectiveness happens, better results happen, and it creates an opportunity to create better accountability and even appreciation when those things show up. So clarity around those two things really impact culture, goals and expectations. The next thing around that is, around CAP, is the A, which is alignment. Once people are clear on where the bus is going, do they all want to go there? If not, how do you help reset their vision or reset their mindset? Or how do you maybe help some people off the bus? It doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just might mean they might be on the wrong bus. If you keep people on your bus that don't want to be on your bus, it's going to create chaos. It's going to diminish the culture. It's going to diminish your efforts in what you're trying to achieve to make sure the bus moves in the direction that it wants to move. And the last piece is, which again, I'm reiterating, but it's purpose. Helping people understand by the seat that they sit in and how it matters, how what they do impacts the direction of the bus. And again, it comes back to accountability, and it comes back to probably even a greater likelihood of showing more appreciation, which will impact and improve your culture. So what are some of those things that you're doing to create clarity? What are some of those things you're doing to make sure your people align? How are you driving purpose every single day? What this does is it really helps make sure that everybody's on the same side of the bus. Again, the clients that we work with, sometimes when we walk into their organizations, there are people that are working really, really hard. The problem is you have people on all four sides of the bus. Have you ever seen it? Right? You have people pushing this way, people pushing this way, people pushing this way, people pushing this way, and the bus isn't going anywhere. So what are some of those things that you're doing to create CAP inside your organization? You create more CAP, you have a better culture. And that's one of the things that I really want to dive into with these guests, because it's an ongoing journey. It's not something that we just set in January and say we did it and check the box. It's something that leads into the next component, which is integration. Your culture has to be integrated into your strategies. It's not something else. It can't run parallel to everything that you're trying to accomplish. It has to blend. It has to marry into what you do every single day. It just has to be part of your DNA. If it's not going to create stickiness, or it's going to seem manufactured. It's not going to seem authentic. And so what are you doing to make sure that your culture just is? It's just who you are. It's who people live into. It's what shows up every single day. If you don't have a good culture, what happens is you actually take really good players and you create opportunities for them to leave, right? Because really good players want to play in the best games. They want to play at the top of the opportunity to actually live into and create even better results. And if you don't have that opportunity, or if you don't have that A game, it's going to create those A players to go away. It's going to create mediocre people to really stay, because you're not creating a high bar. You're not creating an environment that you're actually holding them accountable to live into and set those expectations. So it just has to be integrated. It has to be who you are. And we're going to have guests on here. They're going to talk about their journey and what they're doing to make it part of just their DNA. Just the DNA of their organization that allows people to show up in that and allows people to understand the rules of the game and abide by those rules, so everybody gets along and everybody kind of moves in the right direction to drive the results that they're looking to drive. It also allows people, when it's part of your DNA, when new people come into your organization, it's just the way that it is. This is the rules of the game. This is how we play the game to make sure that everybody's living into their best self, everybody's working together, and everybody's moving in a direction that is a win-win situation. A win for them and a win for the organization as they go. So it has to be integrated. And I'm excited to continuously dive into that topic as we move forward. Another component of culture is ongoing people development, or the emotional side of it, or the soft skills. It's the things that sometimes can't be measured, but have tremendous impact on moving your organization in the right direction. What are you doing to continuously develop people at all levels? How are you helping people create better communication? How are you helping people resolve conflict? How are you helping people work better together with other people? How are you helping people create skills that understand the dynamics of different styles of leadership and being able to flex to those styles? Are you investing in your people? Really, really good cultures understand that those investments create long-term dividends. But what happens sometimes when you don't have that in your organization is you take shortcuts, or it's easy to cut that in the budget. Short-term shortcuts when it comes to people development create long-term headaches. But those short-term investments and those ongoing opportunities to develop your people will create long-term dividends that create an even greater culture that help you drive even better results. So that's another component that drives culture. And we're gonna have guests on here that have mastered the people game, that have mastered the people development, that understand that it's not just a cost, but it's a true investment, that they get an ROI, a return on all their invested efforts, by developing the performance of their people and continuously giving them the skills, abilities, habits, and mindsets to live into a culture that creates excellence, to drive the bus in the right direction and create the results that they want to create. We're excited to talk about that and give you some insights and wisdom that you can leverage every day that helps improve the performance of your people by making sure there's development in place and it really has meaning that helps them be more successful and helps your organization be more successful. And the last component is it's a never-ending journey. It's an ongoing, constant, and never-ending improvement. It's Kanai. It's understanding that it's not just a once-a-year thing. It's an everyday thing. It's built into people. People are looking for ways to improve your culture. People are looking for ways to impact themselves every single day, impact the people that they work with every single day, find ways to create stronger working relationships, find ways to drive better results. And that can get really tiresome. That can get it can cause burnout if you don't do it the right way, if you're not keeping your eye on the long-term vision. It's not something that you can do once. I can't go to the gym once and say I'm in shape. I can't eat a salad one day and say that I'm completely healthy. Once you start this journey, it truly is never ending. And really, really good cultures and organizations understand that. They are focused on things every single day that improve the performance of their people, that improve the performance and impact of their culture, that drives the results, and they're looking to make mid-course adjustments when necessary. They're looking to leverage their strengths. They're looking to minimize their weaknesses and really create what we call the red velvet approach. And you really are able to create a culture that attracts really good people. And it actually repels the people that you don't want. It's that red velvet rope approach where people want to be behind it. And you create really A teams that create A results that really help take your organization to new heights. So ongoing. So think about those components. And that is why I jumped into the podcast world. Because when I go out there and I listen to podcasts, and yes, I will admit it's saturated. There are millions of them. But I believe we're going to have some things that are going to elevate our podcast. I believe we're going to have some really good insights and wisdom and really good guests that you can learn from that will help impact your leadership journey, that will help impact your organization and set you up for a higher probability of success. Listen, at the end of the day, the culture advantage is real. Happier people create efficiencies, create effectiveness, create better results. So how can we help you impact your culture? By giving you a podcast that's authentic and sincere and giving you practical, tactical wisdom that can be implemented and integrated into your everyday environment. So we're excited. We're excited to go on this journey. We have a litany of guests lined up that we can't wait to begin filming. Shortly, you're going to see the first episodes coming out. It's going to be on all different platforms. That being said, we always want to be adding to our list. If you're somebody that is on a leadership journey, that believes that culture really is an advantage, that believes that people really drive results, that believes that it's an ongoing, never-ending journey, and you understand that you create a great culture, you create even better results, we want you on the podcast. Go to chadcarden.com. I'll put the direct link below. There's a form you can fill out to get started.